now we're all like.
You've never seen our place.
I know. It's like wait till the very end to give the big reveal.
So our niece is staying with us for the whole weekend. I think
Well,
till Sunday or Monday. So that's why the bed's there.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to push it.
No,
So
totally
I'll just
fine.
put myself wherever you guys.
Yeah, so I set up a seat so you can sit there. I've got a Topo Chico in the freezer. I'll make you a mocktail.
Awesome.
And then well, I think you
I
know.
want to at least. I didn't know. I didn't drink, so I was like, I brought that wine last time, but I want to give you something. At least I don't want to just come in here and eat.
Oh, no.
I didn't get like a dessert or anything.
Don't worry about it.
No.
No, it's the proverbial. I feel bad. And,
We're fine. We do like wine, so I was thinking about that wine earlier. I was like, we may open it. We're making a bourbon drink, but we're having steak. Yeah, I like the Menage a Trois. I like the dark. So when I do events, that's the wine I buy because it's
Look
like.
at that! I thought it was a funny name.
Oh no! So
For a wedding party.
Costco sells it. I love it. Costco sells it, and they have like different types of blends, and it's always like just like a solid wine. So no, you did real good. You did real good.
Nice.
So I don't know if you mind, but will you still like put it on your phone?
Yeah,
It helps more people. So if like a lot of people are watching at the same time, more.
So what? I gotta go to
the Twitch app, I think. If you don't mind.
I don't have a Twitch app. I did it on my computer.
Hey. Okay, cool. Nice.
Anyway, I'll Twitch.
Yeah, take your time.
I signed up.
It just helps because
Am I starting this or you started already?
No, you
did you start
it? I started it. People are chatting.
Oh, they are
good.
Yeah, if you get the app, then you can just add us and follow, and then it just helps because the more people that are viewing, the new people will, because they'll put us to the top of the Twitch page.
Oh yeah.
But I appreciate it. We already have 4 viewers.
Gotcha. Well, you're
Sorry, you look so handsome.
Thank you.
That's my mom. Thanks, Mom. I'm starting to finally realize people's usernames because people will watch and I'm like, I don't know who that is. Sorry.
I was watching this guy. He's on YouTube and he has 1 million viewers. He's in San Diego. He does a cooking show.
And then that Chambord, the raspberry liqueur.
Why don't y'all do YouTube?
Well, no, I do YouTube.
Okay.
But I have a YouTube channel with my friend Chad, and once you reach a certain amount of viewers, but this is something that we can eventually. Eventually, this is a much more monetized platform.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, we're not looking for that yet. Obviously, we're trying to connect people, but we're hoping that this becomes a much bigger affair. Hey guys, so we do have a guest here tonight. Our neighbor Micah is moving, so we wanted to cook him a farewell dinner. So he's going to get to enjoy this delicious steak and potato dinner.
And this is fasting for 3 days.
What?
I'm breaking my fast.
You're going to love this meal. It's so good. It's one of my favorite. My favorite thing is steak and potatoes, but obviously I try not to eat it all the time. And this white sauce. Hey. Oh, Jan. I met a new friend this week, you guys. I became a member of the Houston Baking Society, and I met this lady named Jan who gave me a sourdough starter, and I made fresh sourdough bread, which we're gonna eat tonight. So it's not perfect, but she gave me a sourdough starter, and I did have to work the last 2 days all day, so I didn't get to laminate it as much, but it looks good. I mean, it looks like a fresh bakery bread. So thank you, Jan. And I have a ton of sourdough starter now because I fed it and I wanted to have like a few options so I didn't run out.
Bingo. I'm gonna watch this in Russian.
Oh yes, you should. You totally should. Tell all your buddies. I know that
Russian
please do. I'm sure the time will be different. You can mute it. Okay, so we are going to make a cocktail called a Kentucky Sunrise, and I found the recipe online, but I changed it a little, just to what I had, so I didn't have strawberry liqueur, but I have raspberry liqueur, and we have bitters and lemon, so this is what we're going to make, but I'm going to get Micah a mocktail.
I'm trying to find something I can put ice in.
Well, we usually use that large thing.
Where is it?
It It should be on the shelf. The martini mixer, it's got a cap on it. I'm still here, guys. But yeah, so like right now we have 4 followers, which is great because the more people watch, the better it goes on the Twitch channel. But I love everybody who watches, so thank you. Okay. Is anyone else making this cocktail? Because I did start putting the cocktail recipes on the Twitch page and in my Facebook and in my Instagram. So I'm curious if anyone else is trying to make the mocktail. So for Micah, we're going to... Do you like cranberry juice? Okay, cool.
Oh, Topo Chico. That's what I'm missing.
Yeah, I have one. I put it in the freezer.
All right.
Okay. So for Micah's mocktail, I was thinking cranberry juice, peaches, and club soda. Sound good? Yay! All right, we have any questions so far? No. So for the first 30 minutes, we kind of just get things going and get things together. And then we will start cooking at 6 o'clock. Oh, but pull your steaks out now. We want them to get to room temperature.
Where's
So
ours?
I'm going to pull them out right now.
Okay. Should we put it on a plate or something?
The steaks, yes, because all of my steaks are in this, like, container.
Oh.
So I want them to lay flat, because if they're all stacked up on each other, they're not going to cool.
Probably 2 plates.
So I told you guys in the notes that the steak I bought was a top round steak. It's a sirloin. It's a sirloin steak. It has less fat than like a ribeye or a T-bone, and it's a little bit lower in cost. And the way that we're going to cook it with the butter and the garlic and the rosemary, it's going to taste like a very high costed steak. They're quite thick, so we're going to need to cook them for at least probably 5 to 6 minutes on each side. And I use a thermometer. If you do not have a thermometer, we'll work through it. We could talk about the feel of the steak. But I do suggest purchasing a thermometer. A lot of chefs in the kitchens, we all put them in our chef coat. And it's we have multiple thermometers. You want to cook the steak to 135 degrees, and then you'll let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes. But, you could do the whole hand trick, and if it feels like you have to kind of loosen your hand and feel where your thumb is, and you want it to feel soft but not hard. Anyway, we'll talk more about it.
What temperature again?
135.
130.
Yeah, you know the feels, right? With the you have to
push back a little bit.
Yeah, you want it to have a bounce.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. But we'll talk more about it. But if you're tuning in right now, please pull your steaks out of the fridge. The number one way to get like a good steak is to cook it at room temperature. So do that now. Okay, I'll continue with making you a drink.
Okay, where are you gonna make it?
Right here. I'm just gonna slice up some peaches.
Oh, nice.
Because we got fresh peaches and they're delicious right now.
Yeah.
And we had a drink yesterday with fresh peaches and it was
very good.
Superb.
What was it called? It was called...
The lean meat it is tastier, but it is tougher. The lean meats are typically tastier.
Yeah, they're tougher to cook.
It's tougher, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really love... Okay, so I love a ribeye, but when I cook it for clients, I have to kind of get around the fat.
Yeah. We tried that yesterday. It was really good.
The Plume and Petal, it used to make...
I love these glasses.
Thank you. So the Plume and Petal company specializes in gin, but they're starting to do vodka, and we have a mutual friend who has been advertising for them on social media. So she gave us like a basket of 3 different flavors. So we are going to be making special cocktails with the Plume and Petals over the next few Twitch classes, and we're making special cocktails for them and putting them on our Instagram, so check that out. We gotta plug in anyone who wants us to. We're here to support everybody. My friend always says we all succeed together. Hey, so our friend Jonathan is hosting us for our Twitch session, so thank you so much. Jonathan, are you and Kelly cooking along tonight? Hopefully they are, because this is probably one of my more favorite meals. I think my favorite meal that we cooked was the mussels.
That
Mussels
was so
are good.
The mussels, and our neighbor who's watching, and he's here in our house. He's tuning in with us. He cooked that night, and I bought the mussels for him. But that was my. I love mussels. And then this is one of my more favorite meals, so I'm excited to cook this.
You put the two together and have mussels and steak.
Mm.
Why not?
If I had enough like energy and time to be able to do like two, let's make an appetizer, then let's make an entree, I would. Okay, I'm gonna grab a shaker.
Okay.
And we're gonna make this cocktail.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Alright, I'll grab this.
So I love the shaker that we got, as it doesn't leak. But I still need this cup because it has all the ounces on it. Okay, you guys. So Stuart and I are gonna make this Kentucky sunrise drink. This extra glass. We also are having our niece spend the whole weekend with us. So she's coming tonight. She's 14. And she'll be here, I think, till Sunday, maybe Monday. But she'll be here later. So she'll squeeze in at some point. We're not sure exactly what time they're going to be dropping her out. All right, so we're going to put ice in a shaker. And ice in 2 glasses. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect amount of ice.
You want to zest this first, or should I cut it? I saw you had the zester outside.
So I have the zester out because the
For the steak?
the white sauce that we're making for the steak uses the zest of a lemon and the juice of a lemon, but this one will just use the juice.
Okay.
So go ahead and the other way.
That's
Okay.
a big decision.
So we do 2 ounces of alcohol each, which I guess is a little strong. Do you want to do 1 ounce?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make 1 drink for 2 people. We'll spread it
Yeah.
since we gotta cook for everyone. The thing is, this is a more like, I guess, alcohol. Well, we're adding Topo Chico at the top, but it's a stronger drink.
How'd you hear about this drink?
I looked up what cocktails go good with steak and potatoes, and I looked through a plethora of cocktails, but this one, we had most of the things.
Okay.
So I didn't want to have to, we don't want to buy like a whole bar. There's so many options out there.
Yeah.
So I have 2 ounces of Kentucky bourbon, 1 ounce of raspberry liqueur, and a few dashes of bitters. And we're gonna pour it into the mixer, and then we're gonna do the juice of half a lemon, just because we're making this for we're gonna spread this. But if this was for this to me is like a 1-person cocktail. It's a strong cocktail, but this isn't going to fill up 2 glasses. But we'll top it with Topo Chico. Get it, let me see. Oh,
There you go.
I look like a bartender.
Do you need a tap? You got
I don't think so. Okay.
I want
Oh, what a pretty color.
Oh, yeah.
But no, the sound of this actually turned out to be quite a bit.
Did they talk about any garnish to this, or?
No, I don't remember. We could garnish it with a lime wedge or like a lime
No, I was just wondering.
I mean, a
rosemary or
lemon
something.
wedge.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Rosemary.
Oh, rosemary would be good. We have rosemary. Grab a sprig of rosemary.
Let me try some before I add the rosemary.
Okay. I think that sounds good because we're having rosemary in our steak and potatoes.
See, now I've earned my keep.
You have. Micah has earned his keep. Okay.
I thought it would just look good with that color, like the green and the rose color.
Say that one more time. Oh, yeah. No, I think it would be beautiful. Perfect. And I'll cut this in. We'll actually just do a few sprigs.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
Ooh.
That's
Oh, we have to
good.
take a picture now. I'm excited. Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this cocktail because it looks gorgeous for the gram, I don't take enough photos because later I'll be like, What do I post today? I need to post something, but then I don't have, like, content. Always clean your camera lens. I learned that from Stewart. Before him, all my camera pictures were blurry. All of them. Oh, yeah. That portrait mode. Okay, let's check this out.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers, Micah.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming over.
Thank you.
Ooh.
I like that.
That's a good drink. I would make that again. That raspberry liqueur my friend gave us for I think it was like it was a different cocktail that someone else suggested, and I didn't have a liqueur, so he thought it was a different liqueur, but he gave us that. And anyway, it's really good, so I was like, let's use it. Chambord.
Are we cooking our steak? We're cooking it on a skillet, right?
Yes, so we were cooking our steaks on a skillet. You could use a cast iron skillet or a non-stick skillet. Now, I'm going back and forth, like, if we should just pop them in the oven for a few minutes, because the steaks I bought are real thick. So I'm a little concerned about cooking them on the flat top and getting the middle, but I'm going to try to cook them just on the skillet, because our oven, with our menu, the oven's going to be turned up to 450 degrees, and that's pretty high to just pop a steak in. We could do it. We could pop the steak in for a few minutes if it's only like 110 degrees and the outers are like, I don't want to burn the outer. But our goal is to cook the steak on the skillet, because we're going to baste it in butter with the rosemary and the garlic, and it should cook for about 5 minutes on each side, and then we'll temp it.
Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Would you prefer cast iron or non-stick?
So if you have a cast iron, use a cast iron. We're probably going to use a non-stick just because of the surface area that I have. Now, when you use a cast iron, when you are going to put down the steak at the very beginning, just make sure you have enough oil, because we're going to salt and pepper. And if you put the meat dry on a cast iron or a non-stick, the whole seasoning will kind of get stuck to the pan. So just kind of put a decent amount of oil on that cast iron. I love using cast irons. I know Jan loves using cast irons, who's watching us tonight. And then we're going to be cooking the fondant potatoes as well. It needs to be a pan that you could cook on the stovetop and then put it in the oven. So it needs to be a pan that's like oven safe. So if you only have one cast iron, maybe use the cast iron for your potatoes so it could go in the oven. But if you're
That's right, because some of the handles are plastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I didn't have all the equipment that I have now, I would take the plastic handle and I would wrap it in foil and I would put it in the oven. So if you do not have a oven-safe pan, wrap your handle in foil, completely cover it, and you can put it in the oven and it'll be fine. And if it's not fine, I'll buy you a pan, but it will be fine. I did it for years. So, okay, if you're cooking for one person, the potatoes need to go in a small skillet, because you need enough chicken broth to go up about half the way the potatoes. So if you're cooking for one person, use a small skillet for the potatoes, and it doesn't really matter the size for the steak, because we're not going to be putting all that liquid in it. So that's a key thing, because you don't want to waste 2 cups of chicken broth just so you fill up the potatoes. So again, if you're cooking for yourself, use a small skillet for the potato, because you're going to have to coat it with chicken broth, which I'm going to get my chicken broth out now, so don't forget.
And we were drinking a Kentucky Sunset.
It's so good.
Very good.
I put it on there.
I know that somebody still asked.
So I know, but someone asked me to start putting. Somebody asked me to start putting the cocktails on my ingredients thing so they can make the cocktail with us. So I'm curious if anyone made the cocktail. It's really good. So Kentucky Sunrise. Okay, so we're not going to start till 6 o'clock cooking. But if you guys are watching, please pull your steaks out of the fridge now. It's super important that they become room temperature. And I'll kind of talk about the timeline that we're going to do. We're always going to prep our veggies first. So we'll cut the broccoli, we'll cut the shallots, we'll cut the garlic or whatever it's really not that much veggie prep tonight, actually. But we'll do like the potatoes and everything, and we'll get all of that out of the way, and then we'll get into cooking. And the first thing we'll do is cook the potatoes. Then we will mix the sauce. Then we'll cook the steak. And then we'll do the broccoli at the very last minute because I only cook broccoli for like 60 seconds. I hate soggy broccoli. Like, not good. I cook broccoli in hot, boiling, salted water for 60 seconds, and that's it. Yeah. And the dish is so rich. Like, the potatoes are rich. They're cooked in chicken broth with garlic and rosemary and butter. The steak is so rich. And then we have the gorgeous sauce that the broccoli doesn't need anything. Don't put butter on it. Don't put olive oil on it. At least for me, I just like it salted. And then you could dip it in the sauce and add it. It'll be fine. But trust me on that. Like, 60 seconds, unless you cut giant florets. Cut little broccoli florets. Okay. I feel like I'm being very informative today. I'm really excited about this meal, so I'm more excited to cook it. I want to eat it so bad. Okay. So anyway, we're just hanging out. Yeah. Micah hasn't eaten, so why have you fasted for 3 days?
I just, was always trying to get down to this weight I never dieted.
Oh, okay.
So I was always like, I'm going to eat responsibly, I'm going to exercise, and then I'm like never losing anything. And it's not a big deal, but I thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
It's COVID.
Because Micah's about to move and work in Russia.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get a little bit more healthy so he can.
Start working on it.
Yeah, well.
They tell me my body weight ideal is like so much less than I am. And I'm like, how could I be that thin? And it be like.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, malnourished.
The body mass index.
Yeah, it's like you need to weigh 150 pounds. I'm like, how's that going to work?
Yeah.
It's more like 175, 180, so I need like 10 pounds.
You've been a great neighbor. I'm just fingers crossed because we've had 2 good neighbors since we've lived here.
That's true.
And I had like a bad dream the other day about like us getting like a bad neighbor, and I was like, please don't get a bad neighbor. Yeah. So I'm just hoping that we have good streaks of neighbors.
Yeah.
And David's been with us, our other neighbors, so we live we're the middle of 2 houses in this like little driveway. Yeah, it's like a nook. And we've had good luck with neighbors, but so just hope it keeps going. Okay, any more questions?
You just detox. I did like the juice like every 3 hours. Just did a juice fast.
Oh, okay, a juice fast. Oh, okay.
So it's like a detox thing too.
I have a girlfriend who is like 0 body mass index. She's tiny, but she fasts. She does juices like and she doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't do anything. She's completely sober, but she loves doing like a 10-day juice thing. She's very healthy. 10 days. She does 10 days.
Wow, that's tough.
Sarah.
Yeah.
But she's like a health nut. She has a 6-pack. She's like, she wakeboards. Yeah. And, but that's just, she's very healthy. And that she basically eats vegan. And that's.
Does she make her own juices?
Oh, yeah. She's got like a master. Her juicer is like.
Thing was like $10 a jar. I'm like.
Oh, no. I have a juicer. I make my own juices. So I juice, but not for like meal replacements.
Right.
Well, kind of. I'll juice for like a breakfast meal replacement, and sometimes I'll just drink juice for lunch. The last juice I made was I had a lot of grapes left over for the wedding. I forgot to like bring them, and I had a bowl of grapes. So I made grape juice, but it's way too sweet that I really don't want to drink it.
Can you cut that with water?
I could put vodka in it.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Or you can make ice cubes, right?
I could. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I have. Oh my god, I forgot to tell you. Okay, we do not have shot glasses in this house. I think we only own 2 shot glasses.
Right.
And I bought a shot glass ice cube tray. And I saw yesterday on TikTok that a girl made resin shot glasses. So I think we could make our own little
yeah.
out of resin. Okay, I'm obviously real excited today. I took a nap. That's why.
Yeah.
I needed it so bad. Okay. So again, if you're just tuning in, please pull your steaks out of the fridge. They need to come to room temperature. Super important. They need to come to room temperature. Okay.
You could tell her to get down if you want.
Our dog is all over our
I wish I
neighbor.
could have a dog.
Well, you move so much, so. When is our niece coming?
Around 7-ish.
Oh, well then She'll eat after. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Let me open up my Twitch thing.
Where is your BOQ? What's it? BOA?
I don't know. What does BOA stand for? I think that's Mary Beamer. I'm not sure. Oh, and I made a joke with my friend Chi, who is a marketing manager. So he owns the Dumpin' Juice company. Very, very successful. They have like 5,000 followers on Instagram. They always sell out of their dumplings. They've been in business the same amount of time we've been in business. And I told him, I was like, I should go on Twitch and I do a cooking class and I'll do it in my wedding dress. And he was like, no, you really should do that. So at some point, I'm going to bring back my wedding dress because he told me to just wear it. Just wear it, Because he's getting his whole suit dry cleaned. And I was like, I don't need my wedding dress dry cleaned. And he's like, why? I was like, well, we're going to do a trash the dress photo shoot. Not for like a few years, but at some point I want to like, I don't know, paintball or do like, he wants to do water balloons with tie-dye, so we tie-dye my wedding dress.
Yeah, but I'll shoot her with the paint.
I don't want him to shoot me with paintball.
It's so fine.
That's probably why
it won't hurt too much.
I keep saying paintball, but I don't actually want that. So we'll do the whole like water balloons with tie-dye inside of them. But before we do that, we'll have a few random Twitch things where I'm in my wedding dress. Be kind of fun. Yeah. I look pretty in my wedding dress.
Gorgeous.
Of course.
Okay. So we're going to get ready soon. So I will talk about equipment. So we're going to need 2 skillets, one to cook the steak, a larger skillet to cook the steak. If you're cooking by yourself, you need a really small skillet for the potatoes just due to covering the potatoes halfway with chicken stock. And then we're going to need a mixing bowl for our white sauce. We will need a pot of boiling water for our broccoli. So again, depending on how many people you're cooking for and how much broccoli, how big of the pot you need. So you'll need 2 skillets and a pot. And that's it, I think. Well, and a mixing bowl. And then we have to have a trash bowl. So this is my trash bowl so I don't keep getting out of the camera view to throw stuff away.
Size for mixing?
This is a perfect size for the white sauce. Perfect, Stewart. He's perfect. Okay.
And then I have a large skillet.
Yes, large skillet for the steak. And we're cooking for 4 people, so we need a little bit bigger for the potatoes.
Put that down there.
This one. We'll use this for the potatoes.
And I didn't know which one we needed because we needed a boil.
That one.
That one.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. All right, guys, we're about to get going. Please pull your steaks out of the fridge. If you haven't already, please pull them out now. They definitely need to come to room temperature. I'm talking too fast. Let me just sit over here.
Yeah, have a drink.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to need a knife. You have a knife? Perfect. And then this is for more cocktails. If you want more club soda, cranberry juice, just let us know. And what we need to do at the very beginning is get out all of our ingredients so they're in front of us. And then you can put them away after you're done using them. I think that's very useful when we're cooking. So we'll go over what we need real quick. So for the steaks, which should already be pulled out, you're going to need butter, olive oil, garlic, rosemary, salt, and pepper. Basically the exact same ingredients we need for the potatoes, but the potatoes we also need chicken stock. Sorry, I got like a tickle in my throat. Okay.
What am I missing?
That's it. I mean, this is honestly like a pretty, compared to other things we've done, it's not as many ingredients. Because
like the first show? Yeah.
I make things complicated sometimes. So, this one's really not that bad. We need shallots, garlic, potatoes, And then from the fridge, I will grab everything else.
And these were just rustic potatoes, right?
Yes. I'm so sorry. I have a russet.
Rustic?
This country potato.
Russet potatoes have a lot of starch, which is good because we don't want them to just break down. And then we got Duke's mayo, which is like the best mayonnaise. And you already pulled up the rosemary. Okay. I think that's it. All right, so I'll go over the ingredients real quick. Steak, potatoes, then we need rosemary, dill, garlic, shallots, lemon, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, oil, and butter. So we need I prefer to use cold butter when I'm doing the steak, so the reason I use cold butter is if you put room temperature butter in a hot skillet, it will melt quicker, and butter can burn. And when butter burns, it becomes bitter. It's not good. So use cold butter for basting your steak so it melts a little bit. It gives you a little bit more time. You're not as frantic. Okay. It's 6 o'clock. Is everybody ready? I'm excited.
So
okay.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Yes, this is Cooking for Stu. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Stu.
My husband. And we do live cooking classes every Thursday, and we put the ingredients on Sunday so you could cook along. We really want to encourage people to let their friends and family know who live all over the state or all over the country, so you guys can all have a meal together. Even if you're not in the same room, you're at least eating the same meal, and you get to connect that way. So please tell your friends and family, and we'll be here every Thursday.
Yes. Try to follow us. If you haven't followed us, you could go to Instagram, Facebook. It's all Cooking for Stu. And, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Okay. So the first thing we like to do is get the prep out of the way. So let's start with the potatoes. All right, you guys, you're going to grab your 3 potatoes. I need a vegetable peeler.
Okay.
I forgot to say that. I need a vegetable peeler.
Look at my sister, my mother, and my brother.
Yes, please. Yeah, it would be so fun. I really want everyone to get their friends connected so you guys can have the same meal together, even if you're not be able to eat together. Real quick before we actually start, please preheat your oven to 450 degrees. So let's preheat our ovens to 450 degrees, which is Stewart's doing that right now.
Do you want that rack down there?
No, put it in the middle. I moved the rack for the sourdough bread, so Stewart's moving it. So preheat your oven to 450 degrees. And then we also need something to put these potatoes on. So let me just grab.
That was 450.
Yes, I'm just going to grab a plate to put my clean potatoes on. Yes. So I have 3 large russet potatoes. These are for 4 people. I did say a potato per person, but we don't really love leftovers. So anyway, we're going to peel these potatoes. So go ahead and peel your russet potatoes. And we kind of square them off. I don't like to waste a lot of potatoes, so I'll show you what I mean by squaring them off. Some restaurants who really fine dining restaurants, they won't even peel the potatoes because they cut all of the peel off by squaring them into perfect squares, but I think that's just such a waste, so we're not going to do that. But go ahead and peel your russet potatoes. You want to peel it?
Okay.
Okay, you go ahead and peel it.
Called sous chef.
He's my sous chef. So Stewart's peeling the russet potatoes. And we have the oven on to 450 degrees. And what we're going to do now is just prep everything that we need. So once we get cooking, it's super easy. The potatoes are going to cook 2 different ways, which I will show you. If you've never had fondant potatoes, you're in for a treat. So fondant potatoes are have you had fondant potatoes? My friend Micah?
I may have. I just didn't know the name. I don't know. Keep going.
Okay, so fondant potatoes are cooked in a piping hot skillet. So you get one side super crispy, and then you flip them over, and you add chicken stock, garlic, and rosemary, and then you cook them in the oven. So half of the potato is like really moist, and it's got all the flavor of the chicken stock, and it's soft. But then you've got this like super crispy top part. It's a very chefy way of cooking potatoes.
Very good.
And I feel like people think they're hard to cook, but they're not hard. They're like probably easier than mashed potatoes. Because once you sear them and you just pour the broth in, you're basically done.
Yeah.
Because mashed potatoes, you have to cook them and then you have to mash them and add all that stuff. And I think mashed potatoes, I've made mashed potatoes one time where I added way too much liquid and they were not good. So this is a more like, if you add too much liquid, it's still going to be fine.
You know, any steakhouse, they may have this. I was just wondering if I ever remember having it, but I don't.
Yeah. No, it's a really solid, delicious potato. Yeah.
We eat them every so often.
Yeah. It's more of a, I mean, I don't want to say it's a treat, but you do have to buy the rosemary and the garlic and the chicken stock, and then you add a little bit of butter if you want. You do not have to add extra fat, but if you want to like be more luxurious, you can add little knobs of butter. If you, I laugh all the time because I watch Gordon Ramsay. Like I always watch his YouTube videos, and the amount of butter, like he goes, "Oh, just a knob of butter." It's like 4 tablespoons. So I try not to do as much butter.
You eat this in restaurants and you say it's good, and when you're home cooking, you're like, "Oh."
It's because they add like an insane amount of butter.
That's the secret. It's just lots of butter.
Yeah, the secret to restaurant cooking and why it tastes so good is it's a million things of butter.
Yeah. They're like,
The good butter.
just eat it.
Not that fake stuff I used to eat.
Oh, someone asked about quick comments on our wedding. It was amazing. Right, babe?
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was beautiful. I mean, the 4 hours flew by. I can't even imagine people who have to do, like, the ceremony. I mean, it just, like, flies by. It was amazing. Yeah, and Micah came, our beautiful neighbor.
I was like, what? 4 hours?
Flies by. Okay, so once we have our potatoes peeled, Stewart did a perfect job at peeling potatoes. When I talk about squaring off a potato, we don't want to waste a lot of this potato. So we're just going to square off the very little tip right here. So we're going to just cut off very little. And you could save this if you want to make breakfast with it. I'm not going to just because I have other potatoes in that thing. But just a just a little bit. That cocktail's strong. Okay. So square it off. So now you're set with, and then we're going to square it off just a little bit more. So you're going to take your knife, and you guys can see through the food cam that we're just going to rotate the potato around and square it off without completely losing. So we're just trying to create, now, commercial kitchens, like high-end kitchens will like completely square this where it's like a perfect square, but you'll lose so much potato. So just I barely shaved off the potato, and because I don't want to lose all of that. And you don't have to do this part technically, but I think it makes for a better presentation. So I'm going to continue to square this off, just very little.
Plus the surface area once you...
It does help. It does help the surface area. Okay, and then my last one. And it helps keep the potatoes stable in the pan because I like to put, if my pan can fit it, I put the, how do I explain it? Like largest surface area to sear it because I want the most crispiness I can have. Okay, so now we're going to take these 3 potatoes and cut them in half. So I am going to have 6 portions. We only need 4, but not a problem. 6 portions, big portions.
That's breakfast and fries.
Yeah. And so we're going to cook them on the surfaces because they're squared. The surface that is like the most squared down, so it gets the most crispy. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but like the ones...
We need to just cut off the tips, right?
Oh, I forgot to cut off the tips on these. You're right. Just a little. It helps for... My sous chef is keeping a close eye on me. Thank you. So now we have these like decently squared off potatoes. So go ahead and set those aside. Don't worry about putting them in water. They won't turn brown that fast. We're going to cook them. The first thing we're going to cook is those. So now we need to prep the veg for the white sauce. Now, disclaimer, this white sauce came about to make kind of like a tartar sauce for a fish and chips recipe, but Stewart just loved it so much. You could dip your fries in it, and I thought, since we're doing steak and potatoes, we should make this white sauce. It is so good. So we're going to take our shallot. Go ahead and get your shallot out and cut it just like an onion. Cut the top and bottom off. Where's my garbage bowl, baby? Got it?
Yeah.
Do you remember how I taught you how to cut an onion? It needs to be cut real thin.
Remind me again. Show me.
So go ahead and cut the top and bottom off and then slice it in half and peel it away just like you would a regular onion. Sometimes shallots have like two little onions next to each other. If you have that, then you just need to like cut the little one the same way. This one's just one big shallot. Well, see how it kind of does that? I don't know if you guys can see in the cam where there's like kind of two. Well, they stuck together, so I won't have a problem dicing it up. We want to cut the shallot very, very small dices. So just like you would a onion, you're going to take it. You're going to not cut all the way because you don't want it to come loose, but go ahead and slice, would you call this vertically?
Yeah, or horizontally.
Horizontally, so horizontally inwards, and then vertically on top, you're going to do little dices, not all the way, so it holds together. Just like you would dice a regular red onion, white onion. And then you're going to thinly, thinly slice this. You want very small little pieces of shallot. So take your time. You think you could do the second one, babe?
Yeah.
Perfect. So thinly, 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 little baby dices. All right. And remember, you guys, you need your oven on at 450 degrees. And once we're done with veg prep, we will put hot water and we'll get our water boiling. But we don't need it boiling this whole time. We don't need we don't need that much water. Oh, the last thing we didn't grab out of the fridge, my love, is the broccoli. We do have broccoli. I mean, if someone didn't want broccoli with their dinner, they didn't have to do it. But we needed some green. Some
Broccoli's
healthy.
Good. You know, I started liking broccoli, I think, in my mid-20s.
Yeah, I didn't like it when I was young, but I think...
I didn't like it.
I think because they forced you to eat it.
Well, that's like the vegetable.
All right, go ahead. Stuart's going to cut the other shallot for us.
You've had it, but you start liking it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I feel like they forced you as a kid to eat broccoli. Not you?
Of the people that don't eat vegetables, in general, like the one thing they will eat is broccoli.
Yeah.
And it's pretty universal.
Yeah.
People will like broccoli.
As a kid, for me, I think I got forced it so much. But I do like it now a lot.
For me, it was baked potatoes.
You liked it or you
We
didn't?
were forced to baked potatoes.
Really?
We had baked potatoes so damn much. It was like,
Well, you lived in Alaska, didn't you?
I don't know. My dad just baked these potatoes all the time, and we just plain old baked potatoes with a little butter on it, and you're like,
It gets... Well, Stuart, he grew up around food that he just ate too much. It gets,
yeah,
old.
I've gotten over it though. We all have scars.
We all have scars. I'm just going to add this. I took a nap and then I drank a Red Bull. So I have a Red Bull right here. I'm going to drink. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
He really is my stew chef. Someone called you my stew chef, like stew chef. How cute.
Yeah.
That's it. That's stuck. You should get a T-shirt, stew chef.
Yeah, we do need to get some T-shirts made. We have some that say "Cooking for Stew," and then we have our Houston grazing table.
Yeah.
But I just
You
ordered.
want me to do all of this?
Yeah, if you can, unless it's difficult.
No, I could do it.
Well, Stuart really likes this white sauce, so it's okay if we have leftovers. He'll put it on a sandwich or whatever. So yeah, I said just one shallot. I bought a big shallot. If you're one person, I still recommend using the whole shallot and making extra white sauce because it's really good. You're doing great, babe.
Oh, thank you.
Killing it. So the white sauce, just to kind of go over for you guys, it's super simple. It's one shallot, a bunch of dill. So you buy like the like this kind of thing of dill at the store, and you use the whole thing. And I have tried to grow dill so many times. It is, to me, the most difficult herb for some reason to grow. So I just buy it. And we do grow rosemary, but our plant got overwatered. So once Christmas time comes into full circle, Costco sells a rosemary tree, and we will buy it again, and it lasts basically the whole year. We just now lost the rosemary, so I did have to buy these little packets. Okay, but before we even get into the dill, let's just knock out this broccoli. And what's that for?
I thought it was for the broccoli.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you want to do the broccoli?
I think I remember how.
Okay.
You said to turn it around and then kind of like cut off right there, right?
That's how I do it. I know a lot of people cut broccoli different ways, but yes, I like to look at it and then cut to the stem, exactly like that. And then look at that, you have a floret. So easy. So Stewart's going to cut the florets. Let me just grab another plate to just stick these on. We needed more plates than we said at the beginning. So go ahead and knock your broccoli florets out and get those cut. If you buy them already cut, more power to you, less prep, but it is less expensive if you just cut them yourself. So that's what we do. All right, so everyone's knocking out their broccoli florets. We got our shallots done. We do have the oven on to 450 degrees, and we are almost done with our prep. It's not a lot of prep compared to our last meals.
Yeah.
Steak and potatoes.
Steak and potatoes. I'm so excited. With some broccoli. Got to throw in some healthiness in there. And then this big one and this big one just cut in half for me. Because every other floret looks good. All right, any more questions? Let's see. Perfect. And my phone.
I mean, everybody has steak and potatoes, but you just add that little extra.
Yeah, this sauce will add it extra.
Can take it up a notch.
Someone says we have great teamwork.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. You've watched our Twitch before. Was it okay to cook along? Was it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was so ready to eat that.
I know. You get so hungry. You're like, oh, I'm just going to eat now. Okay.
Done. Served.
All right, guys. So only a few more things we got to prep.
No, the paste is fine.
The pace is good. That's more like, do I do the pace okay? Okay. So for our dill, this is what we're going to prep real quick. The dill for the white sauce. And we just want to finely chop it up. So go ahead and just run your knife through it. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Super simple. There's no garlic in this sauce, so we don't have to chop up the garlic. We do need to peel some garlic for the potatoes and steak. And I don't mind some of the stem in this dill. I just chop it real small. And then this very little bit of stem I'll throw away. So, like, most of the stem I chop up. Because you just got to make sure it's chopped up real small.
Did you happen to answer, somebody asked if you ever made your butter?
I've made butter at a country club where you just whip heavy cream. But it's not something I do. I just don't have the time. or the patience. But no, I mean, if I had, like...
It's a long process?
Not necessarily, but unless I get, like, cream from, like, an organic farm and it's special, I just don't see the point, I guess. So.
You ever heard the inspiring story of the mouse that was in the milk?
Oh, yeah. The mouse that turned its own cream so it lived. I've heard that inspiring story. Okay, guys, so the next thing, so our dill and shallots are done, and then we are going to zest and juice a lemon and put it in this bowl. So let's do that now. So go ahead and zest. If you do not have a microplane, buy one because it's my favorite kitchen tool. I honestly think this is my favorite kitchen tool.
You do use
I mean,
it a lot.
I use it all the time. I won't even put it in the dishwasher because I'm worried I'm going to ruin because I put it in the dishwasher too many times and it's starting to peel. So I hand wash it every time. But microplane, if you don't have a microplane, you could use a cheese grater on the skinny side. But buy a microplane. Okay, and then go ahead and zest your lemon, all of it. We really want this lemon. It adds so much flavor. And you know, Giada De La Renta, she's a chef on the Food Network channel. She cooks this. She has a steak recipe where you put fresh lemon juice on top of the steak once it's nice and hot. And we're putting this sauce on the steak, and it's very lemon forward. And I really love lemon and steak together. It's delicious. So now we're going to juice the whole lemon. Unless you're doing it for yourself, you're one person, you do not want leftovers, you can do a half a lemon. But again, I encourage leftovers. You can put this on anything. So good. Okay. Juice the whole lemon. Oh, really get all that in there. And then that's it. We're going to add mayonnaise in a little bit. We don't need to do that right now. That's it for the prep of the sauce. We do need smoked paprika, but again, we can finish that in a little bit. Garlic. Now we need about 8 cloves of garlic. We need 4 for each. Yeah, we're just going to smash it. We don't need to chop this or mince it. We just want whole garlic cloves. That should be good. That's just extra. So what you do is the whole, I don't know if you watch, people say they hate Ann Burrell. She's actually my favorite Food Network star, Ann Burrell. She does this whole thing where she like makes her voice real good, like she like does this like manly voice. I love her though, because she's memorable. Like her cooking's memorable, and her husband's name is Stewart. Oh my god. Okay, so we're just gonna smash the garlic. Oh, I don't want to ruin my ring. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You think I cracked it? No, I didn't. It wasn't my running ring, so it's okay. So go ahead and put your blade, and you do it one at a time. Because they're all different sizes. If you did them all at the same time, then the little ones don't get smashed. So just do them one at a time. And Stewart's over there peeling off the peel. And you don't have to mince this. We want them whole and smashed. Smashing them brings out the aromas and the flavor. And it's really easy to get the peel off if you do this. I'm not a big fan of the garlic and the water minced up in the fridge. I think it's just not...
Well, they say the garlic actually hits the air, and in the air it gets better for you. Like,
yeah, fresh
the reaction of in the air.
The reaction of like the oxygen.
Yeah.
Fresh garlic's just way better.
So you put in the oil or the water, it's just or the peeled in the jar.
Yeah, I just never think it tastes like garlic.
Not the same.
Yeah.
No.
So take the extra step. I do think garlic is way too highly priced right now. It's 75 cents like a thing, and they're small. They're tiny right now. So if you have a Costco membership, they do sell garlic in a bag, and they're big bulbs, like big. And they are like $5, and you get like 10 to 15 bulbs. And I just keep them in the fridge, and they last like 2 months. So I recommend that, especially if you're like new to cooking or if you love garlic. Just get the bulk bag and put them in the fridge, and then I just take them out when I need them. I'll put like 2 or 3 at a time in my little vegetable area. And then I'll keep the rest in the fridge. Okay, moving on. The rosemary, we don't have to cut or anything. Just take out your sprigs from the bag and you're going to use half for the steak and then half for the potatoes. Just divide them in half.
And that's a sprig right there?
This is a sprig. This is just a package of rosemary that I purchased. So I don't know if you have some from the garden, but I would use about maybe 4 sprigs for the potatoes and 4 sprigs for the steak. But I'm going to use however much we got. I'm just going to divide it in half. All right. And then I just want to make sure I'm covering all my bases.
Let's see.
I think that's all the prep.
Smoked paprika.
We're gonna finish the sauce in a little bit.
Okay.
And that's it. Okay, yeah, we still need to finish the tartar or the white sauce, which is gonna have mayonnaise and paprika in it. But for now, we're gonna start cooking. So, because we need the potatoes. The potatoes are the first thing we need to do is the potatoes because they're gonna cook in the oven for a while. So let's move this and get out our little burner. They're all gonna fit. Yeah, we'll make it fit. All right, you guys. So you need to get the pan that you're going to use for the potatoes. If you are a single person, you need to have a pan big enough to put 2 potatoes in, or your potatoes in, and then cover it with chicken stock. For us, I'm going to use this pan. It will fit all of my potatoes. and just get it real hot. So turn on your pan to medium-high heat and make sure it gets hot before you add your olive oil. And remember, your oven needs to be at 450 degrees and your steaks need to be out cooling at room temperature. Okay. So Astros are playing? Someone's talking about the Astros.
Oh,
Astros won. Woo!
Yeah.
Has anyone done the whole virtual seating?
No.
No? I mean, I heard it's free. Like you like sign up, and I heard it's free, which I could be wrong. You sign up and you like log in and you get to like have your face like in the crowd, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I wonder what your view is. I'm really curious if it's like the same. Okay, so it's the same view as like you're getting on TV. Then you have to sit in front of a computer. Nah, never mind. Anyway, some fans may really love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mike, are you good on drink? You need more ice? Okay. So my pan is hot. I always like to put my hand kind of over it, and you can feel that it's hot. Now we're going to do a nice gob of oil. Don't be shy with the oil. I would say for us, for 4 people, it's at least 2 tablespoons. You want to coat the whole bottom of the pan with oil. And I think I talked about this earlier. My oil, I use half extra virgin olive oil, half olive oil. It's just a blend that I use because I cook so much and it's a little bit less expensive than just using straight extra virgin olive oil. All right, so now that we got that, it's nice and hot. Let's make sure the oil gets up to a little tip. And like I said, you want to find the side of the potato that is the most flat and the largest flat surface. So it could either be like this or like this, and you want to lay it down because you're going to get it crispy, and that's I think the best part. So I'm going to find the largest flat surface.
Since these are, I think, a little large, is it going to take a little longer for them to cook?
They cook in the oven for about, it's at high temperature. They cook for about 20-25 minutes.
Okay. And we're planning on doing this part for what, like 5 minutes?
This is going to sear for about 5 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
And the reason you do not want to soak your potatoes in water beforehand is if we did, you'd be sprayed with water, with all the hot oil, and we don't want anyone to, okay? And I'm going to be careful, too.
Cover that or leave it
nope,
open?
Leave it open.
Okay.
Let them sear real hard. Don't worry, we are going to season them. I season them afterwards. If you put salt and pepper on the potato like that, there's more chance that it would just stick, and then all the seasoning will come off. Once we flip them, we're going to generously season them with salt and pepper while there's still oil on the top. And then we're going to add garlic and rosemary and chicken stock and a little bit of butter, and we're going to put it in the oven, and it's going to be so good. Okay, so while this guy is sizzling, let's put hot water in our pan that you're going to boil your broccoli in.
Yeah.
Yep. So just go ahead and... Oh, the oven's on real high. And our oven's gas, so it kind of comes out the top. So go ahead and keep these on medium-high heat right here. And you're going to let them get a real good char. It's going to take at least 5 to 6 minutes, at least. So, we're all kind of hanging out. Get your water ready for the broccoli. Make sure your steak is out of the fridge. I can't stress that enough. It should have been out of the fridge a while ago. Actually, you guys are good. I'm going to run to the restroom. This should be good. Just let them sit.
But yeah.
Oh. I'm going to wash my hands for 30 seconds. TMI.
Alright. We got the water. I think that's about a good amount. It's about like that much. What'd you say? Medium or high? We'll start with high. Show Justin. Looks good. Looks good. I think we're doing good.
Suddenly it got quiet.
Yeah. Chelsea's the talker in the relationship. I don't mind. Let's see.
Everybody's busy. I know I was busy.
Yeah. And just a reminder, whoever's watching, whoever's cooking, later on, once we get everything situated, take a couple photos, include us on your Instagram. Oh, our flame went out. You know what? I do remember Chelsea saying that she felt like the can was low, and I just assumed she changed it out. So, are we back as well?
Well, now
What happened? Did Stewart come down here? Yeah. It's right here.
Oh, because that one went out.
Oh. Yeah, it's right here. Sorry, guys. I totally knew it was going to go out. I had one ready. I thought I told you I went and grabbed one.
Well, I thought you put it in there.
Oh.
So you gotta close that.
Oh, it has to be off. Okay. Well.
Okay, what was I saying? Oh, we gotta let them know at the end of this to tag us on Instagram, right?
Yes, if you're making this meal, please tag us on Instagram or Facebook or both. Double points. And we are doing a farmer's market next Saturday. If you live in Houston, we will be at a farmer's market next to the Highland Village area. And we are going to do pre-orders for a fall box for our Houston grazing tables. So if you're interested, we're going to make, I'm going to do like a fresh, it's spewing now, a fresh pumpkin dip. And I'm going to do fresh apple chips and very fall-like. It'll be yummy.
you ever check out the farmer's market near the mill?
No.
There's a garden that they have it's like a Saturday or Sunday market right there by the
Vanille? We love the
there's a
vanille.
little garden there. I'm like, it has like a little wood sign,
Huh.
Farm weekend market, like you can buy stuff right out of the garden there.
Yeah, well, they're starting to pop up quite a few places.
The sign's up so you can see what
Yeah.
it's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Stina already made the white sauce. She said it was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that needs in a white sauce is mayonnaise and paprika, salt and pepper. So if you're already there, go for it. Well, we're going to go to a farmer's market this Saturday. And, well, no, I'll check that out. We love the vanille.
I don't think it's a really kind of small little garden, so it's probably not a big deal. It's like, a plot of
I
land.
bet it's pretty.
It's like an urban garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go hang out in that park.
That sounds fun. We love going to the meal's always free, but we love going to the museums. Stewart will sometimes take off Thursdays so we can go to all museums because they're free, or at least we used to do that. We haven't gone since COVID.
And then we became members.
Yeah, we're members at the Natural Science Museum, and my dad's members at the fine arts. Yeah.
I know it said smoked paprika, but all I found was paprika.
So we should have smoked paprika in a large container from Phoenicia with a green lid.
Okay.
All right, so it's sizzling away. Just try not to, get oil on you because it hurts. I'm trying to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing about cooking is, is the risk of getting spewed. All right, so it's starting to get there, but we want this to be even more, I don't know if you guys can see with the light. More golden, like a lot more brown.
How about this one? Spanish?
Yeah, that's good. Spanish paprika. That's good. Spanish paprika, smoked paprika, it works. All right. So yeah, while we're waiting, let's finish the white sauce while this guy is getting nice and hot. So if you're doing the white sauce for yourself, you could do about half a cup of mayonnaise. I like to use Duke's mayonnaise. Someone turned us on to this. It's really good mayonnaise. It's just a little bit more higher quality than any other mayonnaise you could buy at the store. And actually, get a spatula. I'm going to I got about a cup and maybe a quarter left, and I already bought a new. Well, I can't put that in there.
Can you fit that one?
No, here I got it. You did good. You did good. So I'm gonna actually just finish this guy out because we're gonna have sandwiches with this sauce tomorrow. Hellman's is good, but have you Duke's? It's so good. I don't know why. It's just like it's just better than Hellman's. It's a lot more like it tastes like homemade aioli, I guess. I think they probably use a little bit more egg yolk. Mhm. It's a little bit more like.
I like a good man. I don't like Miracle Whip.
Oh, I hate Miracle Whip.
I cannot.
Let's not even get me started.
I can't
You
do
guys.
crap.
So I'm gonna finish this. I have about a cup and a quarter. But again, if you're by yourself, you only need like half a cup. So our potatoes are brown. Turn them. I just burnt the crap out of myself. That's gonna be real bad. I'm just gonna warn everybody. I just burnt myself real bad. Okay.
You want two of them?
No, it's fine. I gotta keep going. So I'm gonna turn this off because these are nice and brown.
Can I get you an apron?
I hope I don't ruin my cute little romper.
I can still get you an apron.
I think it's a little late.
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. I definitely just burnt my finger pretty bad, but I will put.
Often too.
I do. Okay, so now that the potatoes are absolutely gorgeous, look how gorgeous. Look how gorgeous. I burnt myself. Okay, look how gorgeous these potatoes are. So now we're gonna add. You need enough chicken stock to go halfway up the potatoes. Turn your heat off. The chicken stock is going to sparkle. So be careful with it. You don't want the oil to spark up. There we go. Perfect. So add enough chicken stock, but you do not pour the chicken stock over the top of the potato. You don't want to take away from that crispiness.
Oh, that's good. I would have probably did that.
Pour it on the side of the potato, halfway up the potato. Look at that. That's exactly what we want. And you could turn the heat back on, actually. We want the liquid to come to a little bit of a simmer. And then add the rosemary and garlic. So half your rosemary. Can you get me some ice?
Yes.
So half your rosemary and the garlic is going to go right into this broth. Go ahead and just sprinkle the garlic around, this rosemary around. And this is when we're going to season it, you guys. Look at that. It's gorgeous. So we're going to add salt and pepper now to the top of the potatoes. And a nice generous amount because we haven't seasoned it yet. So go ahead and do a nice generous amount. Don't be shy because that's your seasoning. And I get low sodium chicken stock, so I'm going to add a little salt to the stock as well. And then black pepper. I like freshly ground. If you don't have freshly ground, that's okay. But go ahead and do a nice generous amount of black pepper on there. And it's already coming up to a little simmer because the pan was already hot. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. That's beautiful. Let me take a picture. All right, you guys. Now we're going to put this in
the oven.
The oven. Ooh. Yeah. Whoops. It happens. And when I'm doing things live, I feel like I just get a little bit more nervous than usual. That's what we're going to cook the steaks.
Okay.
All right, so the potatoes take about 20 to 25 minutes, and the steaks take 10 minutes and then 10 minutes to rest. So let's do the steaks now. So go ahead and get your pan on medium-high heat. And same kind of process. We need to make sure that's really hot. We're going to put, it's actually very similar cooking. We're going to put oil down. But we do salt and pepper the steaks before we put them down on both sides.
Tell them to check their water.
Yes, check your water for your broccoli.
It should be boiling, or should it be just like...
We're going to need it boiling. That's a little bit too much.
Too much water?
Yeah. I would have it at a hard boil once. Well, we're not going to boil the broccoli until the steak is done, because it only takes 60 seconds. So you can go ahead and put it on a back burner.
Okay.
So it's out of the way. You guys, I burnt my finger.
So that was a good amount of water?
Now it's perfect, yeah. Just because once we put the broccoli in, it would have gone a little too high.
Okay.
Yay. Okay, so now we got the pan hot. So while your pan's getting hot, go ahead and generously season your steak. Salt and pepper only on top of the steak. And once we put the steak in the pan, I season the other side. So Stuart's going to go ahead and do that for me. I know, you can already smell the rosemary
Sounds
ground.
like
So
Christmas
good.
tree or something.
So good. You guys are going to love this meal. Delicious. All right. Twitch. My mom says, what about an apron? Let me put an apron on.
But you look so cute, my love.
I know, I look so cute, but I probably already ruined all my outfits with oil and paint.
Yeah.
You can't. Chelsea can't.
How's that? That's good?
Oh, yeah. Did you put pepper in?
I'm about to.
So Stewart seasoned our steaks vigorously with salt and pepper because it does stick to the pan and you'll get some of that coming off. So over season just a little. Oh, I know that oil was so hot and it just like spewed out. So just be careful. I mean, I burn myself all the time. I'll be totally fine. Just be careful. How's everyone doing? Everyone good? This is going to be a really good meal. You're doing great, Stuart.
I like the automatic one.
Oh my God, we had this awesome automatic one, but it broke, both of them.
Yeah.
We had one for salt and pepper. We used them both for pepper. Gadgets, they always break. All right.
Your arm won't break.
No, his arm's perfect. So go ahead. The same kind of thing as we did with the potatoes. You want a decent amount of oil in your pan. So I would say about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, depending how large your pan is. Well, I do it in the pan. So I take my I don't know if you guys can see this. I take my tongs and I pat down the seasoning onto the steak, and then Stuart will season the other side while it's in the pan. And you want this on medium heat because it's going to need to cook. Look how big these are. They need to cook in the pan for at least 5 minutes aside. These are quite large. We may have to go a little bit farther. But you don't want them to burn, so cook them at medium heat. And he's going to season the other side. And we're just going to slice them because they're huge. Cool. One of my coworkers from Apple is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got steak going. We got potatoes in the oven. We're almost there. We've got the...
Very exciting.
I'm very excited. Stuart, you did great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you definitely want to heavily season the steak. And you did that, so good job. I think my finger's going to be fine. Now that I put ice on it, it's not that bad. At the moment, I felt like, oh no, because it like looks like a splash, but I think I'm good. Okay, I'm back in it.
More or good?
No, it's perfect. So again, like I said, I like to use my tongs and press the seasoning into the steak. And we are going to cook this steak for at least 3 minutes, and then we'll turn it, cook it for 3 minutes, and then add the aromatics, the rosemary, the garlic, and we'll eventually baste it in butter. But we've got some time. Butter burns, so you don't want to add the butter too early because it will become bitter and black, and we don't want that. Same with garlic. So it's all about timing. So go ahead and let these sear for about 3 minutes on each side, and then we'll start adding aromatics and butter and basting and making it real, real special.
I'm going to put that in your apron. Oh, I thought it had a top one.
Thank you, baby.
Well, we do have aprons coming in, right?
We have really nice aprons with like A ring hook for the, yeah, I got a Sea Apron. I'm real excited. Okay, let's finish this sauce. The only thing we have to add to this sauce, to the white sauce, is a teaspoon of paprika. So go ahead and add a teaspoon of paprika. Thank you. That's all. That's okay. I added a little more than a teaspoon.
Yeah, dump a little out.
I am.
Cool.
It's because I always use the wrong side of the thing. Okay, so a teaspoon of paprika, and then I would add a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. I like to do a pinch.
How much is it in this?
About 9 grounds. So 9 full grounds in a black pepper mill. So finish your white sauce with a little bit of smoked paprika or Spanish paprika or regular paprika, whatever you have. Salt and pepper. Yep, that's it. And then stir this bad boy up. Ooh, I'm excited. Yay! And it looks like that. It's just like a nice white sauce. It's a lot thinner than you think because of the lemon juice. Go ahead and taste it and make sure it's got enough salt. And check your steak.
Like mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, salt, pepper, dill, shallots.
Would you put horseradish in that?
You could. I like the tang though. Stuart doesn't like horseradish. I love horseradish.
Yeah, I don't like horseradish.
All right, so go ahead and flip your steak. So see how like nice and brown they are. That's what we want. That's what we want. Thank you. Our wedding was so pretty. Our friend said congrats on the wedding. So we're gonna move this out of the way. All right, you guys. So we're in the home stretch. The potatoes are done. The steak is cooking. We have to cook the broccoli, but right at the last minute. So we're not gonna do it yet. So now we're just focusing on this steak. Go ahead and flip it if you haven't already. And let it cook for at least 3 minutes. Get it really crispy. And then we're going to add the garlic, the rosemary, and the butter. So we're going to let that chill for a second. I can't believe I did that. Yeah.
Oh, butter's on that.
Yeah. All right.
You're going to do the whole thing of butter?
No. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of butter per person. So since we have 4 people, I'm going to use 4 tablespoons.
This is...
That's 8 tablespoons. So 1 stick of butter is 8 tablespoons, so use half of a stick of butter. Which I know it seems like a lot, but you need to create a decent amount in the pan so you can spoon it over your steak. So go ahead and cut that into 4 tablespoons for me. Sorry. Micah, are you entertained?
I am. My butt is
Oh yeah, go get a stretch. Stretch.
Yeah, we're going to have
All right, we have 19 people watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to our channel.
My mom's on.
Yeah, my mom is always watching. Thank you. Oh, your mom's watching. Yay! Micah, you want to get in the camera? Do you want to say hi to your mom? Oh, okay.
Don't put them on the spot.
Sorry. If you're new to our channel, we do cooking classes every Thursday. I put the ingredients on Sunday so you can cook along with us. I love the fact that people will, all eat together. And we try to make it not so complicated, but complicated enough where you learn something. So, it's getting there. So we got our steaks cooking. We're going to add our aromatics soon. I'm going to check. Oh, yeah. So they're nice and golden brown. All right. This is a perfect time.
And that's going to, trap the flavors inside, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Even when I sous vide cooking, where I cook it in a water bath, I like to sear it first to trap the flavors in, and then I cook it in the sous vide. All right, So let's add our butter. So I've got 4 tablespoons, so 4 big knobs of butter all around. And then, thank you, Stuart. And then I add the fresh whole garlic, just right in the pan, splatter it around. And then all the rosemary. Go ahead and just get it all around there. And I would turn your pan to like medium low. We don't want the steaks to burn, but we're probably gonna, these are big steaks, but we're most likely gonna try to finish them on the stovetop. If you don't feel comfortable or you want your steak medium well, you could pop it in the oven.
You want one of these?
No, I was thinking about it, but I don't think it will give me the ease of scooping like I want.
Oh, okay. I thought we had a super large spoon.
All right, so once the butter's starting to melt, we're just going to spoon it on top of these steaks. And you want to turn your heat to medium low because you don't want your butter to burn. It's a little bit, I could technically use more butter, but I don't want to.
Well, don't you got to tip the pan just slightly?
It's just such a big pan, and I've already burnt myself once. I don't really want to burn myself again. All right, so go ahead and pour a little bit butter over the steaks. Let them cook for 2 more minutes, so that would be 5 minutes on one side, and the other side's only cooked for 3, so then we'll turn it. You want to try to cook them evenly on both sides, so when you cut open the steak, there's not like one side, kind of gray. You want it to have an even gradient, so keep in mind on how long you've cooked it on each side.
Let me ask you, we brought up the thermometer earlier. When's a good time to check it?
I definitely know these are still like rare. So you could check it now. Like I could let you guys know right now what the internal temp is, just so we know. But I'm not going to check it until I at least turn it one more time.
Oh, okay.
Like if it was just me in the kitchen. But let's check it for you guys.
And then you just make sure you put it in the middle and not through, right?
Yeah, so it's at 108. We need it at 135. So we're getting there, but we still need quite a bit more cooking time.
Some people think you don't want to flip steaks too much. Like you should cook it on one side and then the other side, and that's it. Don't flip it over and over.
I don't mind flipping it.
I
I've
mean,
watched.
Sounds like you're trying to just get it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you cook it evenly on each side, I don't mind flipping it. Gordon flips his steaks all the time.
Yeah,
if you
I
watch
do
his
too,
cooking.
But I've had people go, "Why are you flipping the steak?" I'm like, "Because I just keep flipping it."
Yeah, as long as you flip it
But you're kind of rolling
consistently.
the heat
Yeah.
top to
Oh,
bottom.
babe, will you plug in the computer?
Anyway, I didn't know that was. I agree.
Yeah. I think it's just a consistency thing. So I'm gonna flip them now. I do have one steak that's a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna watch that guy. I bet that one's a little bit higher in temp. And then I'm going to baste this side. And you can lay the garlic on top of the steaks if you want. It's up to you. I like to kind of have them cook in the butter so we can eat them. So go ahead and pour a little bit of butter on top of these on this side. So while it's cooking, it's got butter coming from the top and the bottom.
I mean, the whole spoon, that's like a restaurant signature. Right?
Yeah.
The
This is
butter basting the meat thing, and people don't do it a lot of times.
people don't usually butter baste their steak at home. It's a little bit more of a luxurious type of way of cooking. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and lay some rosemary on top while it's cooking, because the rosemary can burn a little bit quicker than the garlic. I like to add the aromatics on top of the steaks while it's cooking. This looks so good. Go ahead and keep kind of basting if you can. And don't worry about the broccoli. The steaks have to rest for like 10 minutes. So that's when we're going to cook the broccoli. So just focus on your steaks right now. So I am going to temp my little steak. So my little steak is still at like 120. So we got some time. All right.
It smells good and looks good.
How's everybody doing? Let's see. Everyone's focusing on cooking because nobody's chatting. If you feel like your steaks are burning, you can put them in the oven for about 3-5 minutes to come up to temp. Because you don't want them to burn, but you do like them to have a nice brown crust, but you don't want them to be like black. So just keep an eye on them. So I like to kind of throw my herbs back in the butter and then use those to baste it as well. Because you will lose butter. Like I don't have as much butter at the beginning, but I don't want to add too much more. So I'm going to use the rosemary as like my little baster. Yeah, I got my photographer. All right. I have some big steaks. If your steak is small, it probably is finished by now because these are huge. So yeah, it's still very raw. I kind of want to throw mine in the oven. I think this one little guy, though, I have one thinner piece. I'm going to flip these real quick. The potatoes should be still good, especially if they were as big as ours. So...
And our broccoli water isn't boiling, but it's pretty hot. Should I raise up the temperature on that?
No, that's fine. Yeah, as long eventually the broccoli, we could move it over to we have it on a small burner. I'm just debating if I want to throw these in the oven or not. Because they're still about 110, which is pretty rare. We want them at 135. But they're getting a little brown. So our steaks are so large, so I'm going to make the executive decision and put all of the herbage on top so the herb doesn't burn in the oven. And I'm going to put these in the oven for 4 minutes. And remember, if you put them in the oven in your skillet, use a hot pad when you get it out. I don't want you guys burning yourself. Actually, let's rotate that. Can you put that one at the bottom? Be careful. I had Stewart put the potatoes at the bottom of the oven and the steaks at the top because I didn't want the steaks to burn anymore. And ours is a gas oven, so there's a lot of heat at the bottom. So if you're going to do the same thing, if your steaks are huge like ours, I would recommend rotating your potatoes to the bottom because it has all of that chicken stock and liquid that's going to keep it from burning. Unlike the steak that's already gotten all that heat, you don't want the steaks to burn at the bottom. And we're just going to do it for 4 minutes. Not long. They're so close. And let's just clean up. So,
Put this in the fridge?
yes, please. So check your broccoli water and get it to a boil almost, and we will cook that in about once the steaks come out. And we'll just leave it like that. That's fine. We're cleaning up for you guys. Always have to have a tidy place. Everyone's looking good? Okay, cool. Yay! So the steaks I'm going to pull out at 6:03, which is in about 4 minutes. And the potatoes should be done probably around the exact same time. And we'll let the steaks rest and the potatoes rest. And we will cook the broccoli, and then we'll plate. And we'll get to eat, which is the best part. I bet you're starving. Micah hasn't eaten anything but juice. He needs protein.
That's my reward. I was thinking about it. I'm gonna hold out. This is gonna be.
It'll be the best meal you've ever had. Do you know the best meal you've ever had? Yeah. I don't know if I can, off the top of my head, best meal I've ever had. I made burgers a couple weeks ago, and I made them from scratch. I ground the beef. I ground the flap steak. I got beef fat. I had these brioche buns. I made that sauce. It was probably one of the best meals I've ever had.
I made halibut once, like 2 or 3 different ways, and one of them was like a baked kind of way where you coat the whole halibut in sour cream and yogurt.
Ooh.
It's like a halibut Olympia.
Okay.
I think it was Parmesan, sour cream.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Baked that halibut up. That was
pretty luxurious.
Yeah.
Not mayonnaise, sour cream? Because I've heard people would put mayonnaise on it.
Maybe.
Totally fine.
I think it might be mayonnaise, sour cream, and whatever. And Parmesan.
That sounds so good.
And then you bake that.
Yum. Well, I hope this is a meal that some people will really cherish.
At least the people I made it for, they said it was like the best halibut they ever had.
Yeah. Well, halibut needs that fat because halibut, it's one of the best fishes, but if you don't cook it right, it's so dry and it's not luxurious at all. So you have to add fat to it. You just have to. Wrap it in bacon, add mayonnaise, whatever you need to do. If you just cook it plain or beer batter fry it. All right.
Easy way, but use
I'm just going to put this up just because I'm not going to use it.
Okay.
Steak-wise, the best steak I can remember having is the Chop House in New Orleans.
Nice.
You want a good steak in New Orleans, the Chop House is one of the best.
Chop House. Okay, well, we'll have to go to New Orleans again.
It's called Chop, like TCHO, like it's Chop House.
All right, I got one more minute on my steak in the oven. I'm going to temp it.
Steak 40.
Steak 48.
48. They have some good steak.
That's on this one?
Yeah.
I agree.
It's so bougie.
Yeah.
I didn't even order steak from there. I got king crab. Because it was like the same price, and I cook good steak, so I was like, never mind. One more minute.
Use the gloves.
Oh, obviously, I do not want to burn myself. I already burned myself once.
You need 2?
Oh, no, I'm just going to pull the steak out first. Those look good. I think it was a good choice to put in the oven. Ooh, still 113. They need to go in. Let me check the littlest one. Okay, so we have a small one at 130. I'm gonna take the small one at 130 out, and I'm gonna rest it.
What do you want to rest it?
This right here. Okay. And I'm gonna put because our steaks were huge. They were like 2 inches. So I'm gonna throw them back in the oven for 2 more minutes because they're at 113. And
If
the
you
potatoes
look
so good.
Money, would filet mignons kind of be the same deal here?
Filet mignon would be easier to cook, I think, because they have so much fat in them.
Yeah,
Well, I guess, but it's not as. I feel like they cook faster.
It's soft.
Yeah, filet mignons are softer, so I think that they won't take as long. But no, I mean, my mom was like, I want to use filet mignon. I was like, go for it, use filet mignon. I just wanted to choose a steak that wasn't as expensive, that to show people that you don't need to buy a filet mignon, and you're gonna eat. This is gonna be so good. But the key is to let it rest. So I know you want to eat. I know you want to eat. I want to eat. But this needs to rest for at least 10 minutes. I know. So we just have to wait. It's not worth it. If I cut into this right now, there will be a pool of juice and blood, and all of that is flavor. So just wait. I know. I'm hungry too. But we got to be patient. So a couple more minutes, and then we'll, if you haven't I have not salted my water for my broccoli yet. And I think I tell you guys I do a pinch per person. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt to my water. Because we do have 4 people eating. Our niece will get here eventually. So you want it to be heavily salted water. You want it to taste like the sea. So. That's the only seasoning we're giving it. So make sure it's salted water. But yeah, we're just waiting. It's a waiting game at this point. Hopefully everyone's good. We still have 19 viewers, so that means everyone's cooking along because they're not talking. So I really promoted this meal because I'm so excited to eat it. Oh, you guys tried the sauce. Did it have enough salt?
I thought it was great.
It was good?
Yeah.
It's such a simple thing, just not that many ingredients, and I called it a white sauce because I was scared I would,
a little bit? Okay,
I would, people would be like, why would I make tartar sauce? Because this was derived from, a tartar sauce recipe, but once we made it, it's just a sauce that you could put on anything, so it's something we really, really like now. I guess it's going to be our new staple.
And when you were in there, the potatoes, they still look good?
The potatoes looked good. What you want to do is be able to poke a knife or a fork into them, like fork tender. So we'll check ours right now. They're still... let's go ahead and check it. I would say they need a couple more minutes. Because they go through, but they're a little tough. And because we still have broth left, which is totally fine, I'm going to cook them about 5 more minutes. Ooh, that's hot. I mean, even with the glove on, because it's at 450 degrees and it's right above the fire. Toasty. All right, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Those potatoes look so good. So excited.
And then next week, we're also doing the show, right?
Yeah, we're definitely cooking next week. I just don't know what we're cooking yet. If there's something you want to see, suggest something. I'm kind of... we're going to make a soup in a few weeks because we're trying to team up with a friend who is very knowledgeable about CBD and not medicinal marijuana, but the CBD. I don't know what else you call it.
Medicinal.
But medicinal? Medical.
Medical? Yeah.
Medical grade. He's in Michigan. He has his own TV show called Deliciously Dope TV. He cooks with CBD extracts. He does cook with THC. It's legal in Michigan. It's not legal here. It's not something that we partake in. So we're gonna, but we do advocate for CBD. I know people who use it for medical purposes, for their back, for their anxiety. So we want to pair up with him to do a tomato soup, and we want to put some CBD extracts in it and just talk about the medicinal advantages of it. And so we plan to do that in 2 weeks. The only thing that's keeping us back is making sure we can do it on the Twitch platform while he's in the same view. So I don't know the software yet. It's not like a Zoom. It needs to be where you guys can see him on the screen and he can participate. So that's the only thing that's keeping us is I don't have that knowledge yet, which I will work on this weekend because I have time. So we will figure that out. But next weekend, I don't know, something fall-ish. We're going to the farmer's market this Saturday, so I'm probably going to decide Saturday.
Sounds great.
Something a little seasonal.
See what's in season.
Yeah, maybe a vegetarian meal. Something with, squash would be a good thing.
We got the spiralizer.
But not everyone has a spiralizer. Because we love spiralizing vegetables and making a sauté with a spiralized squash. We could do spaghetti squash, which is it's very in season right now. So we're going to decide. But most likely it will be a vegetarian or vegan because I have a lot of vegan friends and vegetarian friends who are like, well, let me know when you do vegetarian, which I totally understand. So I think, but the tomato soup recipe with our friend will be vegetarian because we're going to do tomato soup with grilled cheese croutons. And we're going to I made him tomato soup the other day.
It was good.
I
finished it off today.
He loved it. So I make really good tomato soup. Okay, let's check the steak. I think it's good. I'm gonna temp it over here because I'm running out of room over there. Perfect, 134. Yay! If you want to do, I highly suggest people to invest in a thermometer Because it is, I think it's difficult to just scale it using your finger. If you, it needs some bounce back. And I'm going to put a little bit of this butter. It's going to kind of get on the board, but I'm not too worried about it. So go ahead and pour the butter over the steak while it rests. And I've undercooked steak plenty of times, which is why I have multiple thermometers. Because I'm always worried about overcooking it. Yeah. Overcooked steak is just... It's not good, guys. It's not good. Someone requesting a pasta dish. Okay, we could do that. Do you want homemade? Like, should we do a homemade pasta dish or just a pasta dish? Or gnocchi, because I know how to make good. Oh, what if we did a pumpkin gnocchi? Anyone, whoever requested pasta, are you down for a pumpkin gnocchi? Because I know how to make a really good pumpkin gnocchi. And I use canned pumpkin. We could do real pumpkin, but it's a pain in the butt, and it will take like 2 hours. So we would do, it's a canned pumpkin gnocchi, and it's really actually not that hard to make, and I do it in a brown butter sage sauce.
I mean, that's something, you buy the gnocchi in the store, it's never as good as the restaurant that they make. When you go to the restaurant and have gnocchi, and you're like, wow.
No, gnocchi should be like little plow. Yes, pumpkin gnocchi. We're doing it. We're going to make pumpkin gnocchi next week. I'm like really excited. Okay. Okay. Yes. Great fall dish.
Have you made it for? I don't think
I've never made it for you, but I've made it. I made it for the Triers.
Okay.
Junior Triers has had it.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll like it.
I'm excited. Can you get us a bottle of red wine? Because I want red wine with the steak and dinner. You guys. Okay. So the steak is resting. Your potatoes should be about done. And have your water boiling for your broccoli. The steak needs to rest 10 minutes. It is 7:12. We are going to slice the steak at 7:22, and we will plate at 7:30-ish. This is like the longest dinner we've made. Usually it's only like we're finished by the hour. But this is perfect. Yeah, Cabernet, perfect. And Stewart's going to do his little aerating thing. All right. And I'm going to check the potatoes. Your potatoes should be done. Our potatoes were quite large again. Ooh, they look so good. Y'all, this is a good meal. This is a steak 48 dinner. Oh yeah, our potatoes are done. The fork went right through really easily. So our potatoes are chilling on the stove. And we will cook the broccoli in about 5 minutes because it literally takes 60 seconds. Oh, I don't know if I've been this excited about a dinner in a long time. I love good food. I love good food. Woohoo! Yes, pumpkin gnocchi. We're excited. So this is a really cool contraption. So you can, what you could do is you can put it back in the bottle. So if you're someone who is having multiple bottles of wine or a big dinner party, which we've definitely done before, you can aerate the wine in this contraption and then put it back in the bottle so you can do another one.
Yeah, our good friend, he's a sommelier.
Mike, we have a sommelier friend.
He showed us this, and I was like, I gotta have it.
Yeah, and it wasn't that expensive. I think it was like $40 on Amazon, and it comes with these like beads that will clean the bottle. And we usually clean it right after we use it. But if you like get drunk and forget to clean it, you need the beads. Yeah. But,
or if you're not going to drink the entire thing, there's a cap. You can put this in the fridge.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And sometimes you could, if you have a crappy bottle of wine, you could aerate it twice. But usually we only do it once.
Yeah.
All right. Woohoo! All right. I think everyone's still probably good. If your steak was smaller than us and your potatoes were smaller than us, then you can go ahead and slice it up and plate it. But we got 5 more minutes on the steak, and we're going to put our broccoli in our boiling water now. And I literally only boil them for 60 seconds. So I'm going to do that now. This is non-copyrighted music. So Twitch doesn't let you listen to music that is copyrighted. So that's the only thing that's hard, because when I'm cooking, I like to dance and sing. So it's hard for me to go live on Twitch all the time because it's like dead air, right? Like I have to put on music that I'm not familiar with, but at least it's something. So turn off your oven if you haven't already. I didn't. All right, so I'm going to let that go for 60 seconds. Thank you, babe. Micah, did you want half a glass of wine? You good? Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to miss you as a neighbor. We are. You were cool. He was very considerate, and we really appreciate that. So. You probably saw us hula hooping and doing all, we have so many activities in our main area. We love living here. We were going to try to buy a house this year, but because of COVID, we can't. Just like, we didn't get the business that we're supposed to get. But, so I think our landlord's really cool. We'll probably, we're going to probably sign like at least a 6-month lease. So our lease is up in January. So most likely we'll live here for 6 more months, if not another year. I don't really want to move in the middle of summer, but like if our landlord's cool that he understands that like if an opportunity arises and we find a place that will move, so we're lucky in that regard. All right, you guys, we're almost ready to eat. Some people have already signed off. They've probably already done eating. If you guys made this meal tonight, please tag us on Instagram, tag us on Facebook, take a photo of your plate. We like to slice our steak, and then I'll have one large potato on the plate, sliced steak, and then a little bit of the broccoli, which I'm going to take out of the water right now. Yeah, it's fine. It wasn't like that hot. Just going to use y'all hungry?
Very hungry.
Micah, I can't even imagine. Oh, did we want any sourdough bread for? I mean, this is probably good enough.
Yeah. I think I'm good for now.
Yeah, we'll eat it for breakfast. Can make you a steak sandwich tomorrow.
I will accept that.
Oh, Nora's supposed to come at 7.
7-ish.
7-ish. I know. This was the longest time we've had to... Okay, I need one more plate, my love. All right, so we're going to plate up. So we've got 3 plates. Can move this back. Oh, or that. Ooh, look at all that. Look at all that butter. All right, so I'm just going to do a nice pile of broccoli on each plate. Hopefully you guys can still see this. Any which way. If you want more broccoli, Micah, just let me know. And I need a glove. Will you pass me that glove? Because the pan is still hot for your potatoes, so make sure you have a glove still. So look at these beautiful fondant potatoes. Just put a nice big potato. I'm going to do the biggest one for Micah because he's hungry. Ooh. They're nice and cooked. That's perfect. Someone gets a sprig of rosemary. All right. And then the steak, I need to slice it. So let's move all of this. Some of the rosemary, some people really enjoy eating this because it's like nice and crispy and buttery, and that's totally fine.
I didn't know people did that.
Oh yeah, try a piece. It's delicious. Here.
I'll eat first.
Okay. I like the garlic because it's like nice and cooked, and it's cooked in butter. I mean, what can't you like? All right, so let's go ahead and slice this. You want to slice it against the grain. So look at the steak and try to see what's way the grain is going, and slice it against the grain. Perpendicular. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see how it's perfectly pink. You need to make sure you let it rest so you don't take away all of the juices. Oh, it's perfect. All right. And then right on the plate. Everyone's so quiet in anticipation. All right. Oh, that's too much. That would be my plate. That's too much. Let me get Micah's big old plate over here. Oh. All right. You guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's dinner. Now I would take this sauce and I would add it right next to the steak and potatoes in a nice dollop like that because you want to mix it in with all of your food. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's meal.
Yeah, let me try this so they know.
Yeah, let Stuart eat some. Go ahead. Oh, your fork and knife is on the table.
Which we'll move over there.
Yeah, we're going to move to the table, but go ahead. You go sit and try it. I want to hear your opinion. Perfect. Oh, the potato's perfectly cooked. I could tell by the way you sliced into it. I know this was a little bit more time-consuming tonight, but it's worth it. So good. With the sauce, how was it? Good?
Perfect.
All right, you guys. I really hope you liked it. If you made the meal, please tag us. We're going to make pumpkin gnocchi next week. It's going to be great. We'll do a vegetarian meal. And we can also make it vegan. I will use butter, but for vegetarians, they can use vegan, for vegan people, they can use vegan butter or oil. And I'll put that in the notes. So please let your family and friends know. We really want you guys to be able to eat a meal with friends and family living wherever they live during this pandemic. So enjoy, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Micah, for watching.